Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Entertainment Expansion. We are your hosts, Tyler Callahan and Mike Ferrante. Mike, how you doing on this wonderful day?
Well, Tyler, I could shed a single tear. We finally got what we've all been waiting for. All us fans who knew it was out there, saw the hints that were dropped. We finally have the Snyder Cut, and it definitely delivered some closure. I'll give it that.
It did. Almost just a little over now 3 years since the original version came out. We knew it existed. It's, 3 years and $70 million later, it's out.
3 years and 2 hours longer, and we finally got the real version of the film.
Yep. So in case anyone hasn't picked up already, this is going to be full-blown spoiler talk.
Oh
All
yeah,
4 hours, good and bad. We got notes. We have a lot of opinions on some stuff. So I think just to make it easier, Mike, if it's all right with you, I'll just knock out some pros of the movie and some cons. And you can challenge me on any of these if you feel I'm wrong about this.
oh, you know I will.
Okay. All right. So pro number one, Batman as a character is fixed.
Oh yeah, I'll agree with that. He's
Okay.
definitely not. Whew, so much better, more enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like Batman. Doesn't have these quippy little one-liners, except for the I'm rich. But besides that,
That's like a good quip, you know?
eh,
I like it. I like it.
yeah, I guess.
Cyborg and Flash are actual characters with proper growth, and for Cyborg, we see an origin story. It's a good pro.
And it's not a half bad origin story that changes things up too. Because I wasn't because most of the adaptations of Cyborg is the mother box actually blew him up and his dad used it to bring him back. This was just that's got to be one of the worst car accidents I've ever seen in my life. How that happens in a car accident is absolutely beyond me.
He was just very, very unlucky.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
half his fucking torso was ripped off in a car accident. Like, how would you even keep him alive in the hospital?
I don't know. Another character that decided to show up, Steppenwolf, as an actual character with motivation and badass moments.
Oh, absolutely. Steppenwolf was definitely one of the better highlights of this film. Whereas the last one, you're like, okay, this guy ain't really shit. This Steppenwolf is a lot more fucking intimidating.
Agreed. The one in 2017 was very generic.
He,
He came
he
off
was a
as very
dick.
generic.
Yeah, he was just your standard tall bad guy,
Hmm.
and like
He's the
that
alien
was
that's
it.
come to kill everyone. That's it.
Yeah, no, this Steppenwolf, he came to fucking play, man. He was cutting people in half, spearing people. He was taking arrows to the chest,
He was
head, just
throwing horses.
wiping them off like nobody's fucking business. He was shit talking Wonder Woman until the very fucking end, and good shit talking too, not just some bullshit like in 2017.
Also, I will give him props too. When Superman basically flings him across the area, he just charges right at him.
Oh yeah,
Like he knows he's probably gonna lose, but fucking Darkseid's watching now. He's got to go all out. He's not stopping.
he can't.
He can't. Yeah. Speaking of Darkseid, Darkseid. Enough said.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what was a pleasant surprise though. Darkseid being swapped out instead of Steppenwolf for the flashback scene for the first time they tried to invade Earth.
Yeah.
That was, oh man, I was at. I also noticed a little thing there too. He was about to pick up the fucking Green Lantern's ring.
Oh yeah, the ring stood there for a few seconds. He almost grabbed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering, could Darkseid technically? No, that wouldn't make sense. How would
I
he
mean,
be able to get the ring? Hope
what's
he's
the
not
requirement
really
that you have the
hope.
willpower? Because
Yeah, willpower.
Darkseid's
You're
got
right.
willpower.
Yeah, imagine Darkseid was a fucking lantern, bro, and like just killed all the other lanterns, like
I mean, it's like,
fucking badass.
do you need to make him more overpowered? I mean, sure.
He, yeah, I guess he's already a tough son of a bitch.
Another pro is actual universe building. So imagine, Justice League came out before Aquaman. If we saw this version, we would have seen more of Aquaman's world. We would have seen
Yep.
how they worked. We would have even gotten hints of Orm hating humans and trying to wage war, which would have led perfectly in Aquaman. And obviously, universe building with the nightmare scenes, which we'll talk about in depth in a few minutes. But I think the actual universe building around the characters was also pretty good. Original version, it's 2 hours in and out. There's nothing there.
Yep.
Some cons I have two cons. Superman and Wonder Woman don't really change much. They are the least affected by the changes by giving us the full Snyder cut.
Yes and no. Gonna gonna be honest. We did get to see him, piecing back his life together a little bit more than in the Whedon cut. Because with Whedon, it was kind of like as soon as he saw Lois, like he snapped out of it. This, he was still like hesitant, even being at his old Kansas house. It didn't all come back to him right then and there, like on the spot. Like he pieced it together a little bit longer, which was kind of nice to see, I guess, for storytelling aspect.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, for him, it was more of a slow build back to normalcy, I guess. And, got rid of the ugly CGI on his face.
What do you mean? That looks good.
Really don't know who signed off on that.
Yeah, dude, that was completely fucking fine. Why should a over $200 million movie have CGI that looks that fucking bad? It wouldn't. That's why it was successful.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I think then you're in agreement with Wonder Woman. Like, she doesn't really change much. Like, her scenes are basically just extended. But
yeah, if anything, that's pretty much it.
Which is fine, She got a movie that year when it came out, so it's not like she needed much of a story. All right. So besides those main bullet points, what else did you like about it? What stood out? I was like, really like positive change.
Positive change. The Flash overall didn't annoy me throughout the film, whereas the Whedon cut, he was just kind of annoying to me to watch throughout the entire film. I just despised him the more he opened his mouth. This one actually made him a likable character, semi-likable at that.
Yeah, I would say like I was not a big fan of his intro scene. I wasn't.
Well, yeah, but that didn't change at all. I was really hoping that scene would have changed just slightly to make him less like.
No, see, I like the Bruce Barry
Jesse
scene.
Eisenberg.
The slow motion saving Iris, like Snyder, you're overdoing it. Come on.
What do you mean, man? That wasn't a whole 3-minute slow mo scene.
Yeah. But his big
what
moment,
I did like though about that actually is the fact that it showed you like how fast he moved, that he ripped through his shoes and completely tore them off.
That was a nice touch.
That was a nice touch. Him kind of being a creeper with Iris. Gotta be honest, the hot dog thing was a little weird. No, I know it was supposed to be comedy, but that was just weird.
Well, you have the hot dog floating through the screen while he's caressing her hair.
Yeah, it's like, it's symbolism, Snyder. I get it, Snyder. But a little weird.
But his Speed Force moment at the end was great.
Oh,
the music was great, and he killed it there. And honestly, if we got more of that kind of Barry from him, I think he could be a good.
I agree. Also, another positive that you didn't really bring up: they ended the movie so much better. Like the whole ending was a lot better.
Do you mean like no? This is a movie that kind of has multiple endings. Do you mean the final
battle?
ending?
The final battle ending.
Okay. Yeah, it was a lot better. It was a lot more coherent.
Oh, absolutely. Batman was still a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn, like the Flash getting shot, having to heal himself.
That Parademon, Employee of the Month, right there. Get Darkseid, give him an award. Jeez, he almost saved you.
Well, he's dead now, but
that's I know, but up until he died, top honors.
Hell yeah, that motherfucker really killed it.
Did more damage than Steppenwolf did.
Yeah, that's a fact, actually. Yeah, I don't know. Like the whole movie to me was definitely an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of touched on a lot of big things. Batman being a better character, Cyborg and Flash actually becoming real characters. It was nice.
Got more
an amazing
Alfred.
upgrade. Yeah, more Alfred,
which is a plus.
Oh yeah, Jeremy Irons' Alfred is probably one of the best fucking Alfreds I've seen in film history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like it's just on point. He's like, it's very close on par with the animated series because that Alfred was a sassy son of a bitch.
I think what I'm noticing now is I'm liking Alfred's in between video games and movies and all the different mediums. That's a little bit younger and can
be more capable.
Like I like the Dark Knight, Christian Bale and that Alfred and all that, but he's a bit too old.
He is. He's a butler, and then,
I know, and
that's kind of it.
It worked for that, but like having Alfred here is like like as a backup armory guy. Like he does some of the butler things, but also has no problem talking shit to Bruce.
Yeah,
And
which
that,
makes sense because he's
yeah.
basically been like a parental figure to Bruce, but
Hmm.
not at the same time. Because at least for the animated series, and I know some of the Alfred backstories, he was SAS, man. He was British Special Air Services. So he was a badass
I mean, Jeremy Irons does kind of dress at times like a retired
military.
army person. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's more of the route they were going, which I'm okay with.
Does give me hope for Andy Serkis in the new Batman
Yes.
movie. You know, a
Well,
little
that
younger than
depends.
Irons. That he should
Yeah,
be more tense. Yeah,
yeah, but that depends on the type of character that they're kind of bringing to the table.
it's true.
Some cons. Let's see. I'll tell you right now, that fucking intro was a little bit too long for my liking. It got me worried.
You didn't
But I
like
was
slow
still,
motion scream for almost 10 minutes.
when I was watching the intro, I looked down at my watch around the same time. So I was like, okay, I'm starting the movie at this time. Just happened to look. And then a while later, I looked down at my watch and it was 7 minutes later, and I was still watching that fucking intro. That's a problem. We got nothing, and the intro jumps to like months later, and it's like, okay, I guess I'll just go fuck myself. Like you
I
can't
will give you
start me
that.
off.
I
You
thought
can't
the
start me off at the end of Batman vs Superman, and then show me a bunch of just random shit, and then boom, months later, and not tell me. You gotta loop me up before you slide in like that. You gotta.
I agree with you part way. I thought the intro was fine. I thought the intro was fine. It was, but you're right though. Timeline wise, Zack Snyder kind of playing fast and loose with it, right? You
Very.
have end of Batman v Superman, which they show, which is fine, and the mother boxes reacting to it immediately. But
And then it's months later, and you're like, okay,
well, are we sure it's months, weeks, a year? Because
yeah, like
Alfred's making a point that
yeah, like we don't
it
know.
hasn't come. And like, how long did it take Steppenwolf to hear the mother box? And it's like, oh well, now I'm going to go invade the planet. It takes some months to do that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Did the mother boxes activate right away, or did it?
Well, it seems like they
Did,
activated right away because you see the scream go around the planet. But
yeah, but then you automatically jump to Batman fucking months later, or months or weeks later. We don't know. The whole timeline doesn't make sense in that intro. Just a
well,
little bit of
I guess the idea is that it has to be a month minimum because when he's trying to find Aquaman, he has a full-grown beard and he's clean-shaven in Batman v Superman.
well, I mean, depends on how fast you can grow a beard
Well, I'm
because
saying like at least I'm gonna assume on average a month. I don't know, maybe 2 for him. I don't know. But that's the issue. We're looking at beard sizes to determine the length of time.
yeah, that's how you know it's gone a little
Yeah,
overboard.
yeah. I think a con is I know Zack Snyder loves slow motion, and in a lot of scenes in this movie, it works. There are a few scenes that don't need it. Aquaman's slow walk into the pier, and I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I think in the Whedon version, the music that he walks to in slow motion to the pier when he takes off his shirt is better than whatever we got here.
Well, I'll tell you something, man.
Mm-hmm.
Those women had a beautiful voice.
I'm not
How
talking about that
dare
one.
you?
I'm talking about when he's drinking after saving the guy. But also,
Yeah.
you bring up a good point. We can easily cut down like 2 minutes of those women chanting and singing and sniffing his sweater.
Yeah, we didn't need any of
We
that,
didn't.
actually. We didn't
Like
need a single dime of that. He's supposed to be an undercover fish guy who no one knows. They just think he's like
I mean that
a good guy who always appears with stuff.
I thought they worship him.
Do they?
I thought they did. The small town worships him because he comes in once a year. When the ice freezes everything, they don't get ships. He comes in, he protects them for a bit, gives them the food, and then he bounces. And he likes that because like they like him, they appreciate him, but they're not like, oh, he's our king, which
Yeah.
is his issue with Atlantis. It's king this and king that. Yeah, I think the 4 hours, while it doesn't feel like 4 hours, could easily be a 3.5 hour movie, maybe even 3 hours.
Yeah, I could see it making it at the 3 hour mark and being just as quality and content that you needed to see.
I saw a tweet earlier today. They counted. They counted the slow mo for Justice League. 10% of the entire movie is slow motion.
Jesus Christ.
Cut that down to 5 easily. That's 15, 20 minutes right there. You don't even have to cut out a scene. You just speed it up.
Yeah. That's fucked. Let's see what else is a negative. Besides it being a 4-hour movie, because Snyder did drag it out at certain scenes, like the women singing and sniffing Aquaman's shirt, or that fucking 10-minute intro of
Mhm.
God knows what happened. Oh, I will say, yes, we talked about this before, Tyler, but
Yeah,
Martian Manhunter, when he turned into Martha and was telling
that ruined the scene.
Lois, what?
It ruined the scene. It ruined the nice
Yeah,
conversation they had. Agreed.
it did. Because it's like, number one, why would Martian Manhunter give a fuck? Like, he met Lois Lane like twice. He knows she's like tried to do the good thing in the past. But at the same time, why would he care? He wouldn't be like, you know what? The world really needs her writing. It really does.
Okay, since talking about that scene, look, I'm a Manhunter guy. Like I was a fan of him from the animated show as a kid, and I like to see the live action version. But since we're talking about his two scenes, I have an issue with the second scene. Bruce Wayne just having a very intense nightmare scene. Again, wakes up, this alien looking motherfucker flies down, and you're chilling about it? Like, oh, cool. Oh, thanks for telling me your name. Okay, see ya.
Yeah, thanks for also telling
What?
me your name is Martian Manhunter. Did you
Not
not see?
not
Did
threatening
you
at
not?
all.
Did you not see what happened in the last movie where I saw a good super guy that destroyed a city and his name was Superman, not man, Superman Hunter. So what the fuck do you think I'm gonna do now? There's a 1% chance. I gotta take it and I gotta take you out.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Anyway, I started throwing fireballs at the motherfucker.
I got my kryptonite spear back, seeing if it works twice.
No. Martian Manhunter's fire. Fire is
Well, I know he's
somehow
fire,
the
but
weakness to Martians. I
I'm
don't be
just thinking
saying
about that. Since
shit.
his weakness is fire, he definitely dies early on in the nightmare scenario, right? Half that planet, like
Oh
Earth, is
yeah.
like desert
Oh
and
yeah.
fire.
Scorch. Yeah, no. He's one of the first ones out. That's why
Which,
he came into water. It's fucking like 90% water on this goddamn planet. He's chilling.
but yeah, that scene like kind of cool, but like also it felt out of character for Bruce Wayne for
For
Batman.
both actually. Like
Well,
why would Marsh Manhunter be like, oh, by the way, I knew you were Batman this entire fucking time. So how's it going? Been here for years.
yeah. Oh,
Going
yeah. I was the
on.
Army General. I didn't really do much, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
worked my way to the Pentagon to be Secretary of Defense,
But
bro.
hey, next time an attack happens, I'll be here for you guys.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Where did he get the forged paperwork? He was a public figure. How did he all of a sudden
Yeah.
become the Secretary of Defense?
Yeah, you think you'd have some recommendations and stuff? Degrees.
Oh, no. I think you're underestimating. He was an army general, so he
Mhm.
had to go through a background check for that, probably very minimum.
Are we assuming he just took over someone's like he kidnapped someone and just replaced them?
I don't know. Or the other question is, did
Because
he go in did he make himself like the age of 18 go in enlist and all he had is a high school degree that he had to fake it, fake social security number, and he built his life, but he still had to live a whole fucking life just to get
no.
to.
You got to think about this deeper. Did he even meet Martha in Man of Steel? Because if not, how is he able to transform into her and get a pretty good close you can come on like play Martha.
Yeah, and when the fuck did he learn that Clark Kent was Superman?
That's another thing. Yeah. So Martian Manhunter, pretty cool. It's great seeing him in live action, but none of his scenes make sense.
No, not really, unfortunately. I like the scenes, but they don't make sense.
Yeah, and honestly, I like, I don't mind defending Zack Snyder because a lot of people just like, oh, he just does stuff that's cool, even if it doesn't make sense. Sometimes that's the case, and that's clearly the case here.
Yes, indeed it
And
is.
yes, we understand it was supposed to be Green Lantern. Warner Brothers said no, but again, not everyone's going to read the fucking interviews leading into this movie. They're going to see
Yeah,
this guy and he's like, he didn't do anything.
because he did.
Because he did, yeah.
He
Didn't
just
do anything with Doomsday either. He just sat there while the president ordered nukes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
He was just kind of like, hey, I'm gonna make Lois feel better, and then Steppenwolf fucking shit up. All right, well, I'm gonna head out. You guys don't need me anymore. I got Lois for you. You're good. You're good, guys.
Yeah.
Just a normal human in general. Don't mind me sitting back while the whole world's going to shit.
I do actually have an issue with the ending of the movie. And it's the same thing that I had an issue with the Joss Whedon version. And that is after the final battle, and they all do that, heroic pose at the end, slow motion. It's basically a speed run to the end, what everyone's doing, and it's over. My issue
Yeah.
with that is, we talked about this. I had an issue with Superman not talking to anyone during the final battle. And you bring up, well, it's,
You would.
a cataclysmic event, fine. I can go with that. You have to have a fucking scene. If Superman is here, he's leading the team now. You got to have a scene of them talking it out. Oh, what's the name of our team? Or how do we stay in
Yeah.
contact? Something. They just immediately
Yeah.
split up.
That would have been a probably better. Well, because it ends with Bruce essentially turning Wayne Manor into the Hall of Justice.
Yes, that scene would have been fine if it expanded and had the other members there.
Yeah, but now we're adding a more runtime, Tyler. We're adding more runtime. We're looking at a 5-hour movie for Zack Snyder just to use
I
the
don't
word.
care.
We're gonna call ourselves Justice League.
I don't care because Barry mentioned Superman's his hero. It's like, wouldn't it be cool
Yeah.
if you said hi to your hero? Superman could have been like, hey, sorry for accidentally trying to kill all you guys earlier. My head wasn't straight. A lighthearted joke, something. So I don't know.
You gotta be very, very careful with lighthearted jokes and DC Comics. Sometimes it really doesn't work.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Case in point, Justice League, Suicide Squad, Green Lantern.
I feel lighthearted jokes coming from Mr. Boy Wonder, I feel is okay, considering if this universe continues, he's going to be an evil bad guy trying to kill everyone. Let's enjoy the lightheartedness for a little bit while we can.
Nah, fuck that. I want to see that Dark Superman shit. That's what I'm trying to see.
I want to see that too, but you got to give the fans a little lightheartedness because besides smiling, he really said nothing.
Yeah, that's another plus to this movie. More Nightmare Universe.
That's a big plus. I mean, I was kind of saving that because we can have a whole fucking episode about that, but
hell yeah, we'll have a part 2 episode just about that. But we will touch on it briefly here.
Mm-hmm.
That nightmare scene is really teasing Injustice to the biggest fucking degree.
If there is no continuation of the Nightmare, either HBO series, Justice League 2, this will go down as the biggest blue balls in cinema history.
Indeed, because this did more than just satisfy us. What these guys don't understand is Snyder created a beautiful universe for us. It's not the universe that Warner Brothers wanted, but it's the universe that they needed.
Yeah.
Because where you have Marvel's lighthearted, funny stuff that does deal with some serious things at the end, I guess, sometimes, you have the contrast to DC, which just because it's different doesn't mean it's not as good. You can make just as impactful of a movie without it being lighthearted.
Yeah. I agree. I think, like, I understand the purpose of the scene, at least for him, was got to have them at least talk once. And I appreciate that because that was clearly a missed opportunity if this doesn't continue. But,
yeah.
And the filming style is different because this was filmed
in his backyard
during COVID. Fun fact, the Flash is like 2 scenes in like 2 cuts to the Flash. He's in London filming Fantastic Beasts. They had to build that for him, and Zack Snyder had to direct him via Zoom. So, this is definitely a put together scene, and if it does feel like it, but
I feel like it worked pretty well though.
No, I thought pretty well. I was gonna say for the Batman Joker part anyway, you like the close-up shots actually really work, and the out of focus into focus is like kind of got like the rage Batman has, but he puts into focus like, I can't kill him just yet,
and it also feels grittier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a grittier universe,
which makes sense. Those two have been through a lot of shit together, and what's happened,
and the fact that both of them are still alive because they are yin and yang, they are heads and tails.
Yeah, I really want to see more Nightmare. It's even since Batman v Superman, I thought that Nightmare scene was a highlight of that movie, and we're just getting teased again.
Yep. You know what's even worse too? We're getting teased with that fucking Batman movie we never got. Him versus Deathstroke.
Mm-hmm.
Really getting teased at that one.
Yeah, they did change the they did change his scene at the end with Lex Luthor.
Yes, they did. That was very different.
And this is clearly a setup for a Batman movie.
Yes, it was.
He's Bruce Wayne. There you go. Bye. Like,
yep.
Really? You just Warner Brothers, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, this man literally gave you a movie. Yes, it's longer, but he also built you like 4 to 5 other movies that could have came out of this.
If you're looking for help, Warner Brothers, look at your own games with Arkham Origins. Look at
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, come on.
It's like with Ben Affleck's fighting style, like how they filmed it in Batman vs Superman with hand-to-hand combat versus Deathstroke in that same fucking style. A whole movie about Batman going against a league of Deathstroke's assassins. Jesus fucking Christ.
They
That's
don't
what
want the
we
easy
need to
money.
see.
They don't want the easy money. Like, come on.
Like at that point, that movie doesn't even have to be good.
Yeah, as long
Like
as it has
that'll
good
just
fight scenes and everything else is shit, it's still a half decent movie.
yeah, because that's goddamn. You could have it the most simple fucking plot. Deathstroke's pissed because Batman took his eye somehow.
Somehow, yeah.
You got a quick flashback scene of that. He sends assassins to basically fuck up where Bruce Wayne's living now. Alfred gets kidnapped, maybe tortured. Batman goes crazy to save Alfred, and they got the final
Boom,
fight
that's his
scene.
motivation.
Boom, Alfred loses an eye. You can take inspiration from the Telltale series.
Or for Deathstroke, you know what they mentioned in this movie? An eye for an eye.
Exactly. My fucking point's exactly. See how easy we just spitball the topic that would fucking work?
We just plot outlined a great 2-hour Batman movie.
Yep. 2 hours and 15 minutes. We want the extra time for fighting.
Agreed. But yeah, obviously we're both fans of the nightmare sequence. Really happy that scene was filmed, and I think if this is the version of Joker we get from Jared Leto, I want to see more of it.
You think he's got to change that laugh?
I'm fine with that laugh if it's set in the nightmare scenario. So, like, let's say to do a Batman movie pre-nightmare, I'd agree with you. Change it up a bit.
Well, his laugh in Suicide Squad wasn't much better either.
Well, I don't want that to be the laugh either.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Neither laughs really work.
I think the nightmare one works for a nightmare. Like they're all out of it. They're at their wits' end. So of course his laugh is like half-assed.
I guess.
The only downside of nightmare is that Mara's got to be around. But just I'll take it. I don't care.
Yeah, how would Mara make it if fucking Aquaman wouldn't? Also, plus side, fuck Amber Heard, but goddamn her trying to fucking deliquefy Steppenwolf.
That was cool.
Gee, I was like, oh shit, okay.
That's some Avatar Last Airbender. That's some bloodbending shit right there.
Hell yeah, she fucking taking the blood right from his goddamn eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, her with the British accent, not a fan of. Doesn't make sense for the continuity of Aquaman. Those are quick pro con since we brought up Amber Heard's. Mara.
I guess it makes sense, right? This was filmed before Aquaman, so I guess they were going to go with the British accent. James Wan decided to go against it. And for the movie itself, the nightmare scene had to have the British accent because it has to be in continuity with the movie. So there are quite a few changes from Aquaman, like them talking like dolphins if they're not in an air bubble, or air bubbles.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the air bubbles, though.
I didn't mind it either, but it just made more sense.
That they could actually talk underwater? Yeah.
Yeah, because technically they would have like gills on the inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, sound doesn't travel through water, but guess what? It's a fucking movie.
It's a superhero movie.
Yeah. We're talking about people that live underwater and can breathe underwater. And they can talk normal. That's completely fine.
Yeah. But overall, though, I think this was great. I think for Warner Media, and then getting this for HBO Max is great for the service. Servers crashed on launch day. There was another Marvel show that premiered this week, but all I heard over the weekend was Justice League and people's thoughts about it, good or bad. So it's clearly there, and we gotta talk about this. Best Zack Snyder reviewed movie on Rotten Tomatoes since Watchmen. 12 years. What could have been?
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Was there anything else?
We could have been having a Ben Affleck Batman movie by now, because that was supposed to come out around this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was supposed to be. I think around 2020.
Yep. But they had to go and change it.
Between Wonder Woman in this movie and the Amazonians they showed, the better sequences. This is a better
Okay.
Wonder Woman sequel than 84. Just got to put it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. 84 was really bad.
Patty Jenkins, what are you doing?
She wanted it lighthearted and cheesy. She did it.
Also, kind of
She
funny.
did it.
You know, obviously they took it out, but the no Bruce Wayne shit talking Wonder Woman about Steve Trevor.
Yeah, because why would he need
Why
to
would
do
he?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually
And
fixed the continuity with 84 because he's not like shit talking. Oh, well, you haven't loved in 100 years or whatever. You haven't seen him in 100 years. It's like, well, technically, she did.
and also you don't see Batman drink in Justice League or Zack Snyder cut.
Which makes sense. He's a man on a mission. He's a man on a mission to bring the team
But
together. You don't have time to drink.
the thing is, Batman doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink at all.
No. Like
What if he's
he'll
Bruce Wayne
like
at parties?
he fake sips the drinks.
Huh.
He never like that's actually one of his things because he's always on call, so he never gets drunk. He
Yeah,
never
you can never
loses
be drunk in
control.
case something happens. Yeah.
And he never loses control. It's a control thing when it comes to Batman and Bruce Wayne. He has to be in control of every situation. So he can't be in control if he's drunk. Which that's why I thought it was kind of weird how in Justice League you legitimately see him drinking. It was kind of like, well, okay, you're gonna make a drinking Batman. Okay, whatever, you do you.
Well, yeah. That version of Batman drinking was the least of the issues of that.
Yeah, something was bleeding, I'll tell you that. And it was fucking Joss Whedon. Oh my
Another quick
god.
downside. Nothing against the movie itself, but kind of would prefer a little more J.K. Simmons. It's Commissioner
Yeah.
Gordon. Turns out the theatrical cut basically had all of his scenes.
Yeah, it's just goddamn shame. Because I think he would have been a great Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah. Well,
But
set up for that Batman movie.
once again, that fell through, and now he's back with fucking Marvel.
Another plus. Surprised you didn't bring this up at all. No Russian family.
Yeah.
The one family living in the middle of nowhere.
No,
Gone.
honestly,
Good.
it's a two-part plus because it's the Russian family and also that random scene of everyone or the Flash and Superman competing to save people.
Mm-hmm.
No more of that. Like, oh yeah, Tyler, you wanted them to talk throughout the battle, right? Look at Justice League. Sorry, when they're fucking saving people, Superman yells at Flash, "Slowpoke."
I mean, the one line I
Just if that
liked from the final battle was like when Superman came in and was talking to Batman. He's like, "All right, what do you need me to do? What can I do?"
yeah.
That was nice. Obviously, Batman saying, "I don't not like you." It's like, all right, now you just ruined the scene. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, let's try to wrap this up first. I assume this is an easy answer. Would you recommend watching Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Hands down. You gotta watch this. If you've been a fan of any of the DC movies that came out in the past few years and it's in continuity, you gotta watch this. This
Agreed.
is the bread and butter of the universe that we're living in.
Yeah, I mean, if you watched any of the DC movies, you'll have a good time with this. If you saw Justice League, the original version, you owe it to yourself to wash that bad taste out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And it's worth one month of HBO Max. Absolutely. And we won't do a full ranking because at this point, like Marvel, are starting to become quite a few movies in this universe. But your top 3 DC movies, is Justice League in your top 3? And if so, where?
Yes.
Okay. Where is it in the top 3?
I gotta go second or third.
I'm gonna go second for me. I think I'm gonna have to rewatch Man of Steel, but right now I have a soft spot for Man of Steel. I think it's close
absolutely.
first place for me.
Absolutely. Man of Steel was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Which kickstarted Justice to get us to where we are today with Justice League. Wouldn't have been a thought if Man of Steel was that much of a flop.
Yeah. If Man of Steel was actually a terrible movie, like some people like to believe, they wouldn't have done all this. They wouldn't have gone this far. Would have been Green Lantern all over again.
Oh yeah.
So now we wait. We hope good streaming numbers and Warner Media comes to their senses. Warner Brothers comes to their senses, gets everyone at the table, and hopefully continue this universe because we need to see more.
Yes, we do. I'll be thoroughly disappointed if we don't get more, but at the same time, huge shout out to all the other fans that made this possible.
Mhm.
This movie would not have happened if it wasn't for all us fans who jumped up and screamed for the Snyder Cut. I think we're all very grateful for it.
Agreed.
And as always, did you guys watch the Snyder Cut of Justice League? What did you think about it? Feel free to let us know. Is it in your top 3 DC movies? Please send us a message over on Instagram, Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. You can find us always at Entertainment Expansion. As the times change, our name will not. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of your day.